So now, the opening statements of Kathy Taylor.
Thank you very much for inviting us. You know, I think we need to talk about the issues facing Tulsa, and there's no better place to talk about them than looking at last Friday's Tulsa World. 4 issues very important to Tulsa. Shortfall has city refiguring. In a budget year where we're spending $84 million more in our operating budget than we've ever spent before, we find ourselves in the red. That's not what Tulsa needs to see in leadership. A rough and costly ride. We're all spending tax dollars to get our streets redone. And I hear from citizens all over the city that what's happening is streets are being done over and over again. There's no coordination. Yet to add insult to injury, we're the second in the nation in terms of car repairs because of those streets not being completed. Residents may face double fees on IMSA. Now, I think IMSA does a great job, but our state auditor, Gary Jones, found that there was financial mismanagement. Yet the top management got salary increases, and now we're potentially being asked to pay double fees. And finally, talking to the voters about the issues. Mayor Bartlett is using patriotism to say he's not going to talk to Tulsa voters at the League of Women Voters Forum, which has been long-standing and long agreed to. I say it's time to not talk about Washington, but in fact, talk to Tulsans about the issues that impact the future of our city. Mayor Bartlett and I have talked, and I told him the reason I'm running is we need a leader that's a strong leader, that's a full-time leader, that cares about the priorities that Tulsans care about. Thank you.
And now the opening statement of Dewey Bartlett.
Well, what we really have is a very interesting time in election because we have the capability, each of us have a record of being a mayor of the city of Tulsa. And it's an opportunity for the voters to examine it. I'm very proud of my record, very proud of the transparency. It's very easy to see what we have done, what we've accomplished, and the shape we have put things in. When I took over as mayor, I vowed to be the job-gettingest mayor that this city's ever seen, and we've accomplished that in a large degree. 9,000 jobs in the city of Tulsa alone have been created. The net effect, positive. We have become, in my view, the energy capital of this country for all of the various things. That's the business that I'm in. I understand it well. I understand the relationships necessary to allow it to occur. Fiscal responsibility. When I took over as mayor, we had almost depleted our emergency fund. We had zero money in our savings account. We set priorities. For the first time, we put serious management study done to make our government more efficient. And we accomplished a lot of that. And finally, public safety, the #1 core issue. We have a new police chief that's done an outstanding job, Chuck Jordan. He's been able to bring in community-based policing in an effective way, that we are positioning our police officers much more effectively and much more efficiently. Violent crime is down. Our city is much better policed. Thank you.
Okay, the next question, we'll begin this round with Kathy Taylor. The city of Tulsa is financed primarily by sales taxes. And when the economy turns sour, sales tax collections fall. Now, both of you have experienced this in your administration. The state gets an income tax, the county gets a property tax. What should be done, if anything, to stabilize Tulsa's revenue source, and how will you deal with the projected shortfall ahead? Kathy Taylor.
Well, first of all, I governed during the nation's record recession. We had $84 million less in our operating budget than Mayor Bartlett has today. And we did not play politics with public safety, and we did not look at our budget in a sequestration way that the federal government does. We made strategic cuts daily, and we started with leadership from the mayor's office. We cut the mayor's office budget. Did we make some tough decisions? You bet. We grounded a helicopter so we could save 5 police officers on patrol. We were doing more with less. Now we're doing less with more, and it's a lack of transparency. I agree with Senator Coburn. There is a crisis in confidence in government, and guess what? We find out we're overspending at City Hall, and the financial statements for this fiscal year aren't anywhere to be found online. So what I think we need to do is not look at more taxes. We need to look at a better way to help our residents, our Tulsans, have confidence in our government and prioritize the core basic government services that Tulsans need, and not hire a $150,000 oil and gas consultant.
Mayor Bartlett, same question.
Well, certainly the most effective way is to create more taxpayers, economic development, job creation, and that's what we have been embarking upon. When I became mayor, the emergency fund of our city had been depleted from 12 million down to approximately $2 million. That put us in a very precarious position, a very bad place. Our savings account was zero. We had no money in the savings account. Now we have $2 million. Now we have a reserve fund that's $12, $13 million, where it should be. What we've done is that we reevaluated, we reprioritized, and for the very first time, we did a top-to-bottom evaluation of how our city departments are organized. We reprioritized. We got rid of the duplication. We used the relationships that we have built between ourselves and the county of Tulsa, for example, to avoid the duplication and the expensive services. We work for the same taxpayers, so why don't we realize that and govern and manage accordingly?